Hey Jammers, it's Leah. I'm from Harmonic Design. I'm a service designer there. And as promised, I'm going to introduce you to ideation and some tools and methods that you can use to generate ideas for your service. So, what is ideation? It's a creative process used to generate multiple ideas that will eventually evolve into concepts, stories, services, and more. Sharika will be taking you a little bit more into concept generation. Ideas can take shape in many ways. They can be visual, verbal, written, or even a combination. The goal is not to get the best idea right off the bat, but to constantly be generating ideas throughout the various stages of your design process. With that said, the ideation process never really ends. For example, if your team is working on generating a pilot or launching a pilot for a service, ideation is used to generate initial ideas for various aspects of that service. Then, as you're continuing to actually conduct the pilot and you are doing research, observations, and gaining feedback, you're continuing to iterate ideation, new ideas throughout the process. So at this point in the design process, you all have probably gathered and synthesized some insights. You probably have identified some pain points in your customers' journeys. You might have even developed some how might we questions. So using some of these, you'll be able to use them as prompts to help generate your ideas and some of the methods I'm going to introduce you to in just a minute. Now, before we get started, let's make sure we have some of the materials that we need, and I'm going to also share some tips with you. So you're going to want to grab some 8.5 by 11 paper. If you don't have that, another size is great. You'll want to grab some Sharpies or some flares, anything that you have to write or sketch with. Just make sure it's not a pencil, something that's dark enough that we'll be able to see and will scan in well. Some other things you might want to do is play some music during your ideation sketching. You'll need a timer, so you can use your phone for that or any other kind of timer that you have. And then some tips are make sure you're taking breaks during ideation sessions. Make sure you're going for quantity. We want to make sure we get as many ideas out as possible. Don't worry if you're not an artist. We're going to go through a quick trick for sketching some ideas and make sure you're having fun. Okay, so here I am showing you how to do some quick sketches even if you've never drawn anything before. So draw a couple of circles on a piece of paper, then draw some eyes and draw different shapes for mouths to show different expressions. I'm also going to show how to draw something like a truck or a car. It's basically a small box attached to a big box with some circles for wheels. And then you can add a little window in there. Next, try drawing something like if you're going to have like a phone or some kind of tablet in your service. That's a quick and easy way. It's a rectangle inside of a rectangle with a little circle. So really all you need are just some basic shapes to get some things across. So this, I'm drawing a computer. Again, pretty easy to draw, just a couple of rectangles. And then you can include things like speech bubbles if you want to show that someone's saying something, or use stick figures. It really doesn't have to be pretty or perfect, just a visual way to show your ideas. While many techniques and methods we use are collaborative, ideation is an opportunity to generate all those unique ideas that you've had that have been bubbling up. Individual ideating is usually followed up by sharing out your ideas with your team. You'll be doing more of this in concept generation with Sharika. I encourage you to create your ideas not just using sketches, but words as well to describe them. Let's begin with making idea cards. Take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and fold it into 4 quarters like you see I'm doing here. Make sure that you leave some space in each of these boxes to capture a name for your idea and a space to sketch and or describe that idea. By this point, you should have identified some key themes or opportunities in your customer's journey, or even some opportunities from their pain points and some how might we questions. These can all be used as prompts for ideation. What you're going to do is choose 4 to 5 of these prompts and set a timer for 5 to 6 minutes. You're going to do this in rounds. In the first round, set the timer and sketch as many ideas as you can come up with based on that first prompt. Then repeat this for each prompt that you have. Make sure you do one idea per box. Make sure you're sketching individually. Don't forget to give your idea a name and use some descriptive text to help support your sketch. Once you've completed all the ideation rounds, scan or take a picture of each idea card separately and bring them into the Miro board that Sharika has created. She will walk you through how to use this. I like a free app called Genius Scan that I'm showcasing here. Another great method for ideating is something called Crazy Eights. This is a good way to get a rapid, quick, and dirty ideas. The name comes from the fact that this exercise doesn't allow individuals to discard any crazy ideas by spending too much time analyzing them. Take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and fold it 4 times so you have 8 boxes like you see here. Choose a prompt as we discussed in the other ideation method and set a timer for 8 minutes. Sketch 8 quick ideas in each box across the 8 minutes. Then choose the top 3 ideas that you've sketched and take another 5 minutes to sketch those further, adding more detail and any other ideas that you can build on. Repeat this process for as many prompts as you have. And don't forget to scan or take pictures of the refined sketches so you can bring them into the Miro board for concept generation. And there you have it. There's 2 different ways to generate ideas. Thanks for joining me and enjoy the rest of Jam. And don't judge my sketches.